Hey, good morning, everyone. Well, news is coming out that says what we've been saying here for quite a while, which is the COVID-19 virus very likely came from the Wuhan Institute of Virology. These are now public reports. It looks like the NIH was being dishonest about it, may have had a hand in covering it up. It turns out as well the Chinese Communist Party was desperately trying to stop this news from being known to the public, and we're trying to get more information on why that is. And a new researcher has stepped forward from the Wuhan Institute of Virology, suspected as being ground zero for the COVID-19 virus, claiming it was part of a Chinese Communist Party bioweapons program. Now, again, those of you who watched my documentary at the beginning of the pandemic, I can't remember if it was 2019 or 2020, but this is what I said, that the virus did, in fact, based on every piece of evidence, it looks like it came from the Wuhan Institute of Virology. I note the story on how it very likely was brought there, which virus it likely originated from, I believe maybe from the horseshoe bat, and how they were conducting experiments at the Wuhan Institute of Virology alongside foreign organizations, including the NIH, through funding and indirect programs, to alter that virus, to merge it with SARS, to make it more easily transmissible to humans, to even take parts of what looked like HIV to damage the immune response of people if they contract the virus, and to create something new, modifying an existing natural virus. And it looks like that's the story now coming out. Here we are over 3 years later. Better late than never. Take what you can get. Better late than never. But let me show you what's being said. This is CNBC. So this is legacy media central. This is the big corporate media. These are the people who were telling you that this was all dangerous conspiracy just a few years ago. And it's important that, frankly, it's the legacy news outlets saying it now, because if they report something that they denied previously, it means they can no longer deny it. They can no longer deny it. Let me show you. CNBC. Wuhan researcher claims China engineered COVID-19 as a bioweapon. Lo and behold. Brief history on this. When I reported this over 3 years ago, I was censored like you would believe, I think. The show, of course, we were on Facebook and other places. Facebook actually attacked all of Epoch TV or Epoch Times at the time for even suggesting this. The video, the documentary I did, still viewable on YouTube, by the way, and still on Epoch TV, investigating the origins of the Wuhan coronavirus, detailed the origins of it. And that video got around 150 million views across all platforms. On Facebook alone, I think we were, if you count all sources, we were somewhere around 70 to 100 million. And then Facebook slapped it with the big old censorship hammer. They brought in, quote unquote, fact checkers. The first fact checker they brought on turned out to be a former employee at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. And the logic they used to claim that the research on this was fake, the logic they used was to say that the safety protocols at the Chinese laboratory were very good, and therefore anybody speculating that a virus may have leaked from it was obvious conspiracy based on the sole claim, based solely on the claim that someone said the safety standards in China were very good. Then photos emerged. Well, first of all, she got ratioed because people were like, hey, you work there or you used to work there. You're not a credible source. It's like saying the guy accused of a crime claims he's innocent. Therefore, anybody showing evidence of the crime is spreading disinformation. Where have you ever heard such a thing? That's the way it was framed, basically. And then photos emerged of that laboratory, and people noticed in the photographs published by the Chinese Communist Party itself that you had people violating safety protocols. They couldn't even make propaganda promotional images without showing evidence of violations of safety protocol. For example, heavy icing on the freezer containing some of the most dangerous pathogens known to man. The ice, which would not allow the freezer to close properly, by the way, meaning you had improperly stored viruses, which are, again, among the most deadly known to man. We also demonstrated in that documentary I did, by the way, showing how there was a weird cover-up at the laboratory, the Wuhan Institute of Virology, how an intern was believed to be patient zero, and that intern passed it to her boyfriend, and that boyfriend then spread it, probably unintentionally, at the Wuhan seafood market, which was publicly slated as kind of ground zero of the whole virus. We noted how the Wuhan Institute of Virology disappeared this researcher from its website. They deleted everything they could. They didn't delete everything because they must have forgotten. They probably did it too hastily. And also we noted how the Chinese military's bioweapons department was brought into that lab shortly afterwards. Why did the Chinese military bring its biological warfare military department to that laboratory after the outbreak if nothing happened to that laboratory? Well, maybe this is the reason. CNBC, let me read this. Again, folks, legacy media, this is what they're saying now. A Wuhan Institute of Virology researcher has claimed that COVID-19 was engineered as a bioweapon by China, revealing experiments and suspicious activities surrounding the pandemic's origins. According to an ANI report, a researcher from the Wuhan Institute of Virology, that's the one we've been talking about for a while now, claims that China allegedly engineered the coronavirus as a bioweapon. In an interview shared by ANI, Chao Xiao told Jennifer Zhang, a member of the International Press Association, that he and his colleagues were given 4 strains of the virus to determine which strain could spread most effectively. Zhang was a Chinese-born human rights activist and author, took the interview between March and April of 2020. Chao Xiao recounted an incident where another researcher from the institute, Shan Chao, admitted their superior had given them 4 strains of the coronavirus to test their infectivity across various species, including humans. Chao Xiao was also referred to the coronavirus as a bioweapon. Now, this could also point to some of the evidence we have as well of why it may be that Fauci and the NIH and all these different organizations tied in with the Wuhan Institute of Virology may have tried to cover up the investigations into the virus origin. First of all, because Dr. Fauci was publicly lying. He claimed that they did not carry out gain-of-function research there. In reality, what they did in the documents soliciting, again, doing gain-of-function, is they did not use the label gain-of-function. They merely described the procedure of gain-of-function, adding new functions to an existing virus. It is gaining a function. In this case, the ability to infect humans. They were doing experiments on humanized mice, where they were biologically altering mice to have humanized lungs. Notably, research which was done using severed infant heads, using baby body parts from quote-unquote aborted fetuses, including, again, severed heads of human infants in order to create those humanized mice. They then used those as the source to test this newly created virus in order to alter it in a way that would make it more easily able to infect human lung cells. They did this, again, through cooperating with the Chinese Communist Party, and they lied about it. And they've since been trying to cover it up. Any speculation into the real origins of the virus was written off as being dangerous conspiracy, COVID misinformation, disinformation, and many people, including myself, were censored and attacked for telling the truth. And here we are, the truth is getting too broad and too heavy for them to keep out. So, lo and behold, folks. That said, let's jump over to Epoch TV. I want to talk briefly about something a little more light, which is Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk are, in fact, going to be having a cage fight. Elon Musk has now gotten one of the top champions of Ultimate Fighting Championship to train him how to fight. And he's going to roll in there like Rocky Balboa fighting an experienced fighter, Mark Zuckerberg, who actually is training very heavily as well. Who knows? Maybe this will be the beginning of a trend. I'm going to make sure I jump in Elon Musk's Twitter feed and encourage him to challenge Bill Gates next. We'll see where that goes. We'll talk about that on Epoch TV. And also, I want to talk to you about an update on the Smurfs. Many of you were asking before, whatever happened to the Smurfs? And I'm not talking about the children's cartoon. I'm talking about the little Democrat donors, the individuals who were siphoning money through Democrat donors who claimed they were only donating like $10 or $100, but suddenly that $10 or $100 was turning into thousands upon thousands of dollars. Some of these have allegedly now been traced back to China. And OMG Media, James O'Keefe, they claim a lawsuit's going to be filed very soon on this. I'll be showing you the evidence and we'll go over it. China may have been trying to influence our elections yet again. I'll show you this on Epoch TV, so let's jump over, and I will see you on Epoch TV, a link in the description. And then we'll go into questions, of course. All right, folks, thank you for being here. Let's talk about the new fight of the century. Then we'll go into something a little more serious. I want to talk about this, and F, you're saying Zuck is a wimp. It's going to